Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper left hand corner we have Father starting as the yellow Terran, upper right corner we have Pandor starting as the gray Terran. This is going to be on Metropolis, which has a lot of opportunity for drop. I would not be shocked if it's a little bit harder to pull off drop play as Terran these days, mostly because if you're opening up anything other than 3 factory Vulture in the early game, people usually are going to sniff that out. It's possible to maybe go a little bit of a Wraith play adjustment, go Wraith Siege Tank and maybe adjust into it, but then you have less. But point being, this is Metropolis, you have wide areas to scoot and drop things, so that could come into play later in the match, but otherwise this is still a decently wide natural expansion. You have a lot of wide open areas for Vultures, and you can see where if mines get planted in this sector in particular, it is very challenging to break out. You end up locked on the map. So I do believe that 3 factory Vulture is going to be kind of the standard play from both these guys to start. Pandor, I think Pandor is a slight favorite. I put these guys at a fairly close skill level. I think Pandor is a step or two ahead of Father overall. We'll have to see, however. Looks like we do have an initial supply depot down from both players, so... And we'll see if we see a quick scout at all. We are seeing a barracks rather than fast command center. Barracks lining the ramp for Pandor, so maybe wanting to get his Marines down field a little bit more rapidly. And positional wise, I think Father, based on where he's placed this barracks, I believe he wants to lift this off and head it south initially. Kind of one of those interesting aspects of TVT on 4-player maps versus 3-player or some other variation is you do... Your barracks lift timing, I think, is actually kind of an underlooked aspect of this, being able to have the timing to get your barracks across to your opponent's base and get the scouting information. But based on a 4-player map with the scouting pattern, if you get a faster scout, there's an opportunity potentially to sneak that out a little bit faster, if that makes any sense. So right now, this is staging as though Father wants to get those 2 Marines out and initially potentially head south. Pandor, if he gets that first scout, although he might need to delay it out a bit, because it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if you get first scout, then they know you're there, sort of thing. Anyway, it looks like Father's going to end up with first scout regardless for all of that chatter as far as clever barracks times and things like that. We are seeing what looked like a 234, 235 factory here from Pandor, a little bit faster than Father's. Pandor scouting bottom right. Let's see if he goes caddy corner after this. The Marine not able to blockade that SCV, by the way. So gonna do a little bit of a, but that also Father needs to redirect this barracks, which was heading south, but needs to make its way back to the right. And now actually it's gonna have some, actually his Father, so this actually could be a problem for Father down the line, actually. Unless he's planning on some sort of very creative something, but I can't imagine what. Yeah, now redirecting. But that's a decent chunk of lost time where he's not gonna be able to get into Pandor's base to get the scouting information he necessarily wants. Now Pandor has gotten the scout bottom left, so he has the opportunity to lift that barracks. Going ahead and dropping command center, both players, by the way. Looks like, was it a single Marine? Only a single Marine out here for Father. There was an interesting match as of late that was played after this in ASL. We are, by the way, seeing Machine Shop dropped fairly rapidly here from Pandor. As a side note, Father not going to be, and this is huge because Pandor is not going to be able to scout it. Or sorry, Father's not going to be able to scout it for a protracted period of time. SCV is going to get caught by this Vulture. It might as well just barrel on. But the barracks heading directly towards Father's base. Now, we have no Marine, so the Marines actually, or I should say we have no Vulture. Father actually holding back with his initial Vultures. So he's got 2 Vultures. He's actually got an opportunity to strike at Pandor right this second. The Siege Tank is just completing. If he had moved out immediately, might have been able to slide up and get some SCV kills. Instead, let's see if Pandor ends up losing his 2 initial Marines to this, or if the Vulture's able to slide by. The Vulture is walking up, confirm the Siege Tank. But now, this would be an eyebrow raise to me, where it's like, okay, Siege Tank opener. Let's see if this turns into a factory drop follow-up. And there's that barracks sidling through. Pandor actually ignoring, so waiting, does he have a second Siege Tank coming? Opening it up, Father going to be able to sneak into the natural expansion now with those Vultures. Certainly going to be able to get the 2 Marine kills, but going to get a lot of additional kills as well. SCV's now in flight. The Siege Tank going to be able to hold the ramp, but definitely first blood right there. Let's see if Pandor is able to get equivalent damage. I usually feel like vultures end up doing better simply because the SCVs do better against siege tanks. Oddly enough, vultures cycling their way back. 2 of them heavily damaged. It looks like they're going to get focused down. This is some lost mining time. And it looks like at the end of this, actually, because a decent defense here from Pandor, he's able to keep that alive. And now he's pushing 2 siege tanks up. Do we have a machine shop? We have mines not yet researched. So this might be a quick win from Pandor off a siege tank gambit. More SCVs pulling off to try to defend this. And trying to do what they can to the siege tanks. And you can see, actually, it's funny. They just do end up chopping a pretty decent amount of damage into their opponent. That's going to allow mines to finish, but this is deep territory and still significant losses here. 2 support vultures also wiping out the SCVs on the line. I think that might be a Pandor win from there. Fairly straightforward. More SCVs trying to flood off. Yeah, nice build order victory here. Mines dropping, but the siege tanks or out to the right. And Father gonna GG right there. Nice play from Pandor. Off a quick win. Yeah. I'm not sure I have much else to say about that. Pandor with solid build order victory play. And I think there were a couple opportunities where if Father had moved a little bit more rapidly, might have gotten more SCV kills. Made it more of a dire trade, might have forced Pandor back, but is what it is. Father eliminated, Pandor continues. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.